So, hello, namaste, namaskar. Another Sunday afternoon, 12:30 India time. Time for the Sunday Bloom Talk Show. For the past 287 Sundays, you heard that right. For the past 287 weeks, non-stop, every Sunday, online or offline, come rain or shine, we are on air speaking with someone who can help us change our views, change our thoughts, help us become a person different from who we were till yesterday. In these 287 weeks, we have had a fortune of speaking with people from across the globe, from all the seven continents, including our scientists who had worked at Antarctica. So we've had speakers, coaches, trainers, doctors, nurses, athletes, politicians, army men, you name it, and they have graced our platform. Continuing that series, we have today with us Deepti Jandial. And today we will be talking about decoding human behavior at work and at home. Welcome to the show, Deepti.
Thank you very, very much, Deepak sir. Thank you so much, Abhijit sir, for having me on the platform. It's an absolute delight to have been a part of so many people around. And I am very, very blessed and privileged, must say, that I'm a part of the Sunday speaking series. And of course, at two different times, two different zones altogether. So it's absolutely a delight. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Now I have your introduction, and that is 16 pages long. So it is very, very difficult.
I would request and urge you to not go through those 16 pages that can really, really put anybody at unease. And I sincerely apologize. I
No,
should have
no, no,
actually
no.
two simple
The, the,
sentences to speak of.
the bigger your CV, the bigger your intro that tells us how much work you have done, how much work you are doing, what is the experience you have, and how you are helping change people's lives.
And
At
how
this
old
point,
I am
yes.
too. And how old I am too.
No, so Deepak, let me intervene by starting. So, how do you compress your 16-page intro in maybe 1.5 minutes? So, I
Wonderful,
would
wonderful.
like you only to tell about yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay. This seems interesting now to do. Um, Where do I start from? So, Deepak sir, I think you should be the host and you should ask just pointed questions and I'll start talking. मेरी introduction मैं देती हुई, I kind of not used to it unless it is, you're
Fine.
standing in front
So
of a,
one is, how
yeah.
did you come across decoding behavior, and why
Ah.
is this behavior so important to you also, and why do you think it's important to all of us?
Oh, that's very interesting. So this takes me back, obviously, multiple years back with more than 2 decades of an experience as a facilitator into behavioral skills. I started to dabble into psychometric assessments only once I got and I laid my hands on something called as behavioral assessments. Behavioral assessments are very, very tricky because people can mask it. Okay. And where psychometric assessments and testings are concerned, people think that it is okay to actually fool the tool. What they don't understand, when you fool the tool, you're actually fooling your own self. And that's the space that after doing my disc and my extended disc for that matter, it was very, very interesting that, I moved into something called as neurology based assessments or behavioral assessments, which had a lot of validation. That's when I became a prism brain mapper. And I can, continue doing this particular through observations and stuff like that. I also did something with respect to emotional intelligence by becoming a part of the Medical Health Society through Par Excellence, and that's the way that my coaching interventions went through. I did Hogan assessments. I did a lot of work around assessment centers, development centers. And slowly and steadily, whilst I was doing my life coaching and I was actually dealing with people and human behavior, did I realize that human behavior needs to be unmasked. There is a very, very big gap between who you are, your understanding, and who you want to be. Now, that's exactly where my work starts. We all assume that we are the same from the cradle to the grave. And this is the particular anomaly that needs to be actually plugged in. we are definitely not the same from the cradle to the grave. And I saw that in my own career, my own growing years, and my interactions with people, and so on and so forth. And that's where I really realized that what is very crucial here is to decode not just human behavior, but the possibilities that human behavior has in order to set this up along with a platform of possibilities. So, who you are vis-a-vis what you can do is where my interventions moved. See, I just crashed down the 16 pages too little.
Sure, perfect. So you talked of three things. All three are maybe quite, I would say, like a Joel Garner bouncer to a Sunil Gavaskar. So one is DISC, one is you said prism brain mapping, and third is
Yes.
Hogan assessment. So what are all
Oh,
these
good.
three? And
No,
I
I
had heard
mentioned,
something like an MBTI or
yes,
the Strength
correct.
Finder, or
Pi
you'll
Ruby.
have a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
maybe
Right.
uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters of all of these. So there was one friend of mine last week. She did something called a jigsaw brain puzzle. So what are all
Yes.
these? Yeah.
I like the way that you said it was like a bouncer. Yes, it was a googly bouncer and Yorker for everyone who probably did not know how to deal with it. So let me just put this back into your quote, Abhijit sir, Deepak sir, and everybody who's listening to it. When you go to the doctor for a simple headache which persists long, and you probably start feeling a little dizzy, and you're probably feeling dehydrated, you may start suddenly have a stomach ache. You may start feeling very queasy whenever you have food. Your basic tests of blood, do they help or they don't? Very simple question. Do they help or they don't?
They would in a certain way, yes.
Correct. But when you are unable to, unfortunately, get any analysis out of these little simple tests and tools, does the doctor tell you, thoda deep jate hain. Let's do a sonography, let's do a MRI, or let's do probably something called as more tests which are blood related, and so on and so forth. I'll just
Fine.
give a very simple example. Let's say I've been suffering from something called as urticaria or hives from close to 1.5 months. Not a lot of people know that urticaria and hives is not just related to the food that you eat, but it's also very strongly related to environment and excessively high stress. But a lot of people also do not know that there is a DNA test to find out what exactly is the trigger that you're eating that is causing the hives or causing the urticaria. Having said that, I needed to go through an IgE and a DNA test to find out my entire background. And now this was concerning. Now, coming back to what Abhijit sir you said, I spoke about disk and extended disk, but I also mentioned one thing: the psychometric testings and tools can be adapted, can be fooled, they can be actually played around with. So, multiple tools, but multiple reasons and backgrounds for it. So, when I started with disk and extended disk, I realized that you're doing dominant, influencing, steady, compliant. But that is the way that people behave. It's just a psychometric test wherein people are actually fooling the tool to look good. How about not doing this and getting into the nitty-gritties of the why behind it? And the why comes in only through one aspect, and that is the behavior plus the mind behind it. So, understanding the brain and the mind behind it led me to doing PRISM, obviously, which is a neuro-behavioral inventory. Then Hogan, which speaks about the work preferences. I also mentioned something with emotional intelligence, specifically from the Medical Health Society, which only tracks and taps on the EQ. Now, again, bouncing off this question to all of you who are listeners, we all know that IQ takes up such the ladder of success, but what keeps you there?
Deepak, you can answer this.
Initially when we were growing up, we were all exposed only to IQ. Then it became EQ. Then it became XQ.
Right?
Spiritual quotient and fashion quotient and FQ and whatnot. There are so many Qs now. You don't know which Q to stand in.
So you add, so what I say is you add a usefulness quotient, you add whatever quotients you want,
Correct,
adversity quotient, social
correct,
media
correct,
quotient, your LinkedIn
correct,
quotient. You have a
correct,
quotient for now everything. Simple.
correct. But there is one thing that everyone missed out here, which is most crucial. All of these questions put together, where is happiness?
Yeah. So there is an happiness quotient also. Simple.
Indeed, indeed. And Abhijit sir, you'll be shocked and surprised to know that while we are actually doing a reading on the EQ inventories, the first thing that we are actually as profilers that we are told, pehle happiness dhondo. Is the person happy? Is the person optimistic enough? And what is very interesting is that all the 25 parameters in EQ, सब कुछ हो जाता है. But the sustenance comes only when you're happy. And the problem is that the people find happiness in everything that is external. And the minute I said external, nahi, andar kuch hai kya? And that's where the game stops. So, pardon me for saying this, but the sustenance to go up the ladder to sustenance point is, are you happy being there? Are you adding value there? So if you're not doing that, so sustenance of anything is not going to make sense. So Deepak sir, you're absolutely right. बचपन में बड़े होते हुए you only told graduation कर लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो, qualification आ गया. But how do you hold a qualification is very important. What about your personality skills that make people blend with you? Social skills, your relationship skills, and so on and so forth. And now, to encapsulate all of these readings, that is something which is very crucial. And that is why an understanding of all this is needed to bridge the gap. And of course, I wouldn't deny that barring MBTI, FIRO-B, there are multiple things. But Abhijit sir, to be very honest, every particular tool or an inventory has got a purpose. हम यूं ही अगर डाल देंगे तो it becomes like a khichdi or like a absolutely terribly made biryani. So how do you get the taste of it? By using the viable inventories and so on and so forth. So that's the reason that you saw me going through a lot of them purposefully, obviously, because everything had to draw its purpose.
So is it for the layman, the various techniques have its own purpose at various places? Or maybe to be very holistic and be as senior and as an expert at a level at what you are, you need to understand all of them, and maybe out of all these have some own tadka of your own flavor and apply it, or it gets customized. So how does those techniques apply?
Okay. So my assumption that quite a few of us on this platform are married. Okay, I know about myself, I'm single. But I saw my peers, my own sisters, my relatives, whenever they wanted to get married, there was something that typically the old, I mean to say the veteran used to do. And that is people who are married at least can tell me this. What did you do to get married? First thing is, of course, you get an alliance and stuff like that. What do you do next?
The horoscope?
Brilliant. Why do you match horoscopes?
I don't know why I never match mine, but
That's a different story. You fell in love probably, and then you didn't have to match the horoscope. It just simply matched. But typically, people match horoscopes only to see if everything is viable in the family and nothing is going to go wrong and so on and so forth. Later on, people got a little intelligent. They started doing the thalassemia test between
yeah.
couples. Then they started doing an HIV test. Then certain people started doing the genetic test so that nothing can go wrong. Has anybody ever thought of doing a test which can match brains together? Do
Yeah,
we
so
even
I
have
was
any
coming
kind
to
of...
that. I think somewhere down the line before we get married, I think we should do the
Yes.
prism brain mapping.
So a lot of
You
people
can
on
still do
Shadi
it.
So a lot of people on Shadi.com and Bharat Matrimony tell me this, that why did we not do this? Now, we are not saying that people who match brains don't break up. We are not saying that. We are not saying that people who have a match do not have problems and cannot come out of problems. But the idea is this, that how beautiful it is to get a dipstick of how other people think. Literally speaking, in the corporate world, this is very beautifully called as flexing. So if I know if my spouse is a little more, unfortunately, a little more compliant, a little more organized, gets a little painful with respect to orders and all that, and I am not, I'll have to accept this if I need to sustain relationships. Now let's bounce off the ball in the other court. Number one thing, very crucial. You keep on saying your manager is bad, mera boss kharab hai, my people are bad. Have you ever decided to do it, invert it, and find out why is this happening with me? Is it something that I am attracting? Now that's the time when we superimpose the brains of the team plus the manager or the leader to find out if there is anything that is going wrong with your personality. We can't say, Ayyar sir hamesha meri insult karte. So there is a word called always and there is a word called never. You can't use this casually. He always does not insult me. And I can never be with him. Never and always is very, very dangerous to be used in relationships and associations. Now that's where the buck stops. So typically speaking, it is used purposefully with an attachment of the need. And last but not the least, what you said, Abhijit sir, did I have to do it just because I was carrying that experience? The answer to that is a yes. I wanted to experience it myself as a person into, psychology and stuff like that. Also, coming from the space of life coaching, I've been a transformational life coach for over 20 years now. It helps me to coach people on the right ways. I'm not saying I'm the best of the coach, but at least one thing is for sure. To become a coach, it is crucial, important to understand the background of people, which is why all of this is needed.
So there was one very important point which I took from what you said is while I would know what my behavior is, and by knowing my behavior, I would also like to know what the behavior, let's say, of my bosses or of my peers are, so that I could adjust or accept or adapt or align with them. But there was one crucial uh, statement which I'm taking is why does this happen to me? Is
Hmm.
it because of my behavior? I'm attracting certain behaviors from someone else, and
Hmm.
how is that responsible for where I am?
Very interesting. How many of us have seen that sometimes we have got a lot of strengths in us? Strengths and weaknesses, we both carry both. Have you ever noticed that some of our strengths, if overdone, can become weaknesses? If at all, if anybody agrees or has a point, you can please unmute and probably talk and tell me. Does any time your strength, which you overdo, can become a weakness?
Yeah, yeah. So if you are relying on your gut a lot of times, at times that could be disastrous.
You could probably end up instinctively believing and trusting everyone, and that
Yes.
could become a disaster. Two, let's say, suppose I'm an overtly compliant person. I love to keep my jobs very clean, very, very error free. If I continue keep on doing that again and again and overtly indulging it, I will delay my task.
Agreed.
I will so much I will get into the nitty-gritties that I will forget कि मेरे को time पे काम भी तो करना है. Okay. Now I am the kind of the person who does not like conflict at all, Abhijit sir. I really hate conflicts. Now what will happen in that case? I'll keep on saying sorry to everyone. I'll keep bending backwards. I will not be able to analyze that it is not my mistake, and to build up on relationships, I need not necessarily say sorry. I need to find out the reasons why. So, why is it important that I know who I am? Is to find out if there are any anomalies in my behavioral strengths and my behavioral weaknesses. Once you are a little more easy on this particular aspect as to why, your change becomes a little more easy.
So
I
let's say
hope I
you
made some
talked a
sense.
lot about rules, and a lot of organizations have rules, especially corporates or
Hmm,
and a lot of people just believe in rigidly applying those rules, and
hmm,
at a lot of times where you need some flexibility or some leeway
hmm,
in because practically while you may have rules for discipline
hmm,
and a uniformity,
hmm.
you would also need flexibility because things are not the same at all times. So
Correct.
one blindly accept and adapt and behave with the norms, or behave his own way, my way or my highway? So how does one go?
If you say my way, then you have to express the why behind my way. Two, if you're saying the highway, then please be assured that you're not going to be a part of the league anymore. People will be happy dumping you, or probably you may have to walk out of the organization. And this happens very often. You need to find out the mid path. I repeat again, you need to find out the middle path. What is the middle path is very simple. The middle path is finding out the nexus of how can you manage the conflict and what can you do in order to better your relationships. You know your anomaly. If the other person is equally interested in being with the relationship and you for that matter, then a role change, goal change, performance change, having a conversation, deep diving into the why becomes a little more easier. And I'll be honest, it also becomes a little more non fabricated. You're not acting to build up, you're actually doing and putting your effort. And at this juncture, I'd like to take permission. May I show you all something that is very important and very crucial?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. All right. I'm going to share my screen and I'd like you to watch this video very carefully. Watch it through and through, and then you tell me what does this actually bring out to you, and then we can take it ahead. All right, so sharing this, please let me know if it is visible and audible. Is it visible and audible for everyone?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll just replay it again.
वराहरूपं दैववरीशं परस्मितवदनं वज्रदन्तधर रक्षाकवचम्.
All right. My assumption, most of us, at least people who are fond of dance, music, or probably travel for that matter, or have a little bit of information would know what is this. But I would like to hear from you.
So anyone from the audience?
The Kathakali performing artist. The dance is Kathakali, and it is about what I understood is because the title was given unmasking. So perhaps what lies beneath can be beyond our assumption or even understanding, unless the reality is revealed.
That's very good. Any other different answer?
So unless you go right to the root, unless you actually remove the last pain, you could never know who that person was, whether a boy, girl. Maybe after some
Correct.
time you could make it out. But actually, to go to the real root of anything, I think you need to go to the very depth of it. Maybe
Correct.
that's my.
Anything else?
We are
There
all
is a
performing.
song. Yes,
We are all.
please go ahead, Ramnath. Ramnath, go ahead.
Sorry, Deepak.
No, please go ahead.
We are all performing in everyday life till death with all those masks and dresses, and I don't think anybody can peel off our so many years, almost a permanent mask from our body or life, I should say.
That's very interesting.
Except
Anybody
There is
else?
a
except
yeah,
Deepti.
yeah. There is a song from a very old Hindi movie. एक चेहरे पे कई चेहरे लगा
लगाते हैं
लेते हैं लोग.
Hello. बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. This is really beautiful. Thank you for bringing out this. Normally, a Kathakali dancer takes close to 4 hours to dress up between 18 kgs to 20 kgs of this particular entire gear. Okay. Nobody at all knows who's the person behind the gear. I repeat again, no one. This particular gear is so neutral that you can't even figure out it's a man or a woman. But that's not important. What is important is the unmasking. There were people who were helping this lady who was a dancer to unmask herself, to unveil the person that she is. But last, the final bit, that is crucial. That was just a little missed out. She took oil for herself to clean it up. There are people who help you to unmask. But the last and the final revelation is done by you yourself. This is exactly what behavioral tools and assessments do for us. We may assume we know ourselves in and out. And a lot of people, when they do go through PRISM and they go through other assessments and they tell me, Deepti, my wife knows me. And that's a clear-cut lie. No, she doesn't. Because you don't reveal to her. Two, my parents know me. No, they don't. You hide from them too. My siblings know me. No, they can't. Because we are not the same with anyone. And last but not the least, a friend circle. You'll be surprised to know that you yourself have 6 to 7 friends and they will all know different parts of you. But they will never know the entire you. Who knows the you? It's only you. So as Iyer sir rightly said that we are wearing different masks. And जैसे सर दीपक सर ने कहा कि रोज चेहरे पे चेहरा लगाते हैं लोग. But एक वो चेहरा जो आपका खुद का है वो आपको पता होना चाहिए. You should be aware of who you are. That peeling, that unmasking of the mask is not a day's job. You need to introspect. You need to find out why is this particular mask becoming a pretension. And if I am attached to one particular mask, is that doing me good or bad? So before I leave this particular thought in your mind, please understand there's a beautiful adage. They said we all are WIP till we RIP.
Fine. Super. We all are WIP till we
RIP.
We all are work in progress till we rest in peace.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Is that some code which is there to find out what we are before we are RIP?
Absolutely. The way that I look at it, I would love to get a feedback from people about who I am and what they think I am. Number two, I'd like to work on my introspection levels to find out what is exactly Deepti. What is Deepti and who is Deepti at home? Who is and what is Deepti at work? So दीपक सर ने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कहा कि लेयर पे लेयर हम लगाते हैं, but the truth is that हम सिर्फ दो ही हैं, who you are and what you show. I repeat again, who we are and what we show. Who we are is no you are aware of it. But who we show, we are different at home, we are different at workspace. So देख ही हुआ ना, adapted. हम adapt करते हैं. Boss के सामने adapt करेंगे, friends के सामने adapt करेंगे, family के सामने adapt करेंगे. You are different in a marriage vis-a-vis you are different in a funeral. Just give it a thought. So we are not bahurupiyas. We're only one roop. That is who you want to be in front of people and who you actually are. Who you actually are is something that you should know. You must know. And what you become in front of people is a choice that you give yourself. किसके सामने mask निकालना है ये भी तो this is a question that you need to ask yourself again and again. You can't be vulnerable, but you have to hold up your guards where it is needed. Like Abhijit sir आपने कहा that during an interview you can't go on telling things about yourself and constantly leak information, because you can't say that this is me, take me or leave me. You can't do that. Just think about it in a job. Erstwhile, when we all in our my heydays, when we have applied for jobs, could we have done this and outrightly said, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, लेने का है तो ले लो सर, नहीं लेने का है तो छोड़ दो. We couldn't do that. We had to flex. We bent backwards to align ourselves to relationships. Question is, how much should I bend?
So,
Do we know ourselves? No.
Abhi, I want to add something.
bolo. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Samir. I would like to add that as the day progresses, day by day, the situation changes and the mask is worn by a person as per the situation. So, knowing oneself is one part, but the situation also makes you change this mask every single day to adapt to the situation.
Every single minute.
Yes, which is why the word is adaptation, which is why they're not saying it's stuck to you. It's only adapting.
And Deepti, after adapting, to so many situations, don't we ultimately forget ourselves, who we are?
Absolutely, Iyer sir, that is absolutely, you just stole away the whole show. The minute you keep on layering yourself, you'll forget who you are. Which is why बीच में खुद से बात करना बहुत जरूरी है. Which is why I'm constantly using the word called introspection. Which is why I said that, Abhijit sir, Deepti, how do you do it? I do a very simple exercise. I seek feedback from people. Who I was earlier vis-a-vis who I am now. But the Deepti who I know should be able to speak to herself. So wo introspection and knock on the door is important. Biggest problem, Iyer sir, is not that I don't know who I am. The problem is I don't have the time to introspect. हम introspect करते ही नहीं है. When was the last time that you sat down with your own self to find out, let me write on my SWOT?
मैं एक बात पूछी थी.
हाँ जी sir.
So I got 3 names, 3 identities.
Okay.
One is बचपन में I'm called Mohan.
ठीक है.
School, college में I'm called Ramnath.
ठीक है.
And then I became Iyer sir as a businessman.
Okay.
When people call me Mohan,
Mm-hmm.
I'm different. As a Ramnath, I'm different.
Okay.
As Iyer sir, I'm different.
Correct.
So where is I?
That is something that you need to find out. And please understand one thing, sir.
So
Ramnath,
that is where I
Iyer
guess he
and
needs to do the
Mohan.
prism, right?
Correct. And not just that. By the way, Abhijit sir, Iyer sir has gone through prison donkeys years back.
He has forgotten it, I guess. So he needs to do it again.
Absolutely.
So
Because
let's
prism
quickly
changes.
go to what exactly is prism.
All right, but I'll just cover one
Yeah, sure,
small thing before
sure.
I miss it out with Iyer sir. Iyer sir, Ramnath, Mohan, and
Iyer sir.
Iyer sir are not 3 different identities. They're 3 different roles that you're playing. आप सर रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं तो आप एक ही ना. आपको रात को क्या निकालना पड़ता है, चल मोहन का मास्क निकालता हूँ, अभी अय्यर का मास्क पहनता हूँ, अभी अय्यर का मास्क निकालेगा, अब मैं रामनाथ का. ऐसा तो होता नहीं. आप स्विच करते हैं. You're switching a
But
role.
behavior changes. The
Absolutely.
different names.
Absolutely. Your behavior will change because you're changing your mask. आपने कभी अमिताभ बच्चन से ये क्यों नहीं पूछा कि तुम दीवार में अलग थे और तुम कूली में अलग थे? ये क्यों नहीं पूछा? आदमी तो एक ही है ना, रोल प्ले कर रहा है. आप सर आइडेंटिटी कैसे चेंज कर रहे हैं? आप आइडेंटिटी थोड़ी चेंज कर रही हो. सिंपली वेयरिंग अ मास्क एंड यू जस्ट ओवरलैपिंग इट. बट व्हेन यू सिट बैक एट होम, जब आप अकेले होते हैं, You talk to your own self. That's the Iyer that you need to know. That's the Ramna that you need to know. That's the Mohan that you associate yourself with. A lot of people say this, and I'm going to repeat it with the benefit of not being, unfortunately, not being stereotyped. They say that a drunken man's words are a sober man's thoughts.
Interesting. And if the what I have understood with your last statement, that we are playing different roles, at the end we are the same person, because ethically,
You are.
morally, and on the grounds of what we assume to be right and wrong, what will drive us and what will stop us from taking some actions, the moral ground will be the same. Our mentality and psychological blockers will be the same in every situation. We may just push ourselves to pretend that we are okay about things, but deep within we'll know that no, this is not who we are.
You're right, Hina. I'll just add one small little thing, one very small little thing out here, Hina. The thing is this, that if you are the same with your own self or with people, and with people, whether they're looking at you or not, even when you look at the mirror, if you're the same, then samajh jayega your harmony levels are the highest. They're at the peak. Then there is no problem in you. Your integrity levels are very high. But if Hina has to change her character, her values, basis the people that she meets up, then there is a deflect. Kuch to gadbad hai. And I just saw that popping up, and which is why that Hina, your statement made so much sense. Split personality हो जाते हैं हम अलग हो जाते हैं,
Hina,
बिल्कुल अलग हो जाते
Hina,
हैं.
we would love to see you. आप हो कहाँ? साल भर से दिखाई नहीं दिए.
मैं यहाँ हूँ
There
sir.
she is.
Good
There she
afternoon.
is.
So Deepti, one thing, there's some question also. So
Yes.
just before, because I believe this is being a lot more interactive. So I'll just say one thing, maybe you can answer, and then what is Prism, and then Deepak can take over. But let's say
Sure.
if Mr. Iyer or Mr. Mohan or Mr. Ramnath, if all these three roles which you said, but let us say there's one role he falls in love with and he likes to play this role always, then what would happen?
That becomes his default.
Yeah. So Mohan or Ramnath or Iyer would be his default, and you would use that always, and
Correct.
maybe that may be
Correct.
good or bad.
Absolutely. Sir,
It
good or
won't be
bad is
possible.
very subjective. No.
Yeah.
Good or bad is very subjective.
हाँ,
Very, very subjective. How can you define something bad? आपके
See,
लिए वो जो
that
bad है,
may, I'm
उनके
not
लिए भी
saying that
compulsory
will
नहीं
be.
रहेगा.
I may say that
Yeah,
may
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
technically speaking, the good and bad the bad is very subjective. What's bad for you
Agreed.
is good for
Agreed.
me,
Agree.
and
Agree.
vice versa.
So
And which
let's.
is why I explained it to Hina that integrity and values will not flip. And which is it, in case if you have harmony in your thoughts, in your actions, in your words, believe me, you are most peaceful. लेकिन unfortunately हम तो pieces में है ना, हम peace तो ढूंढ ही रहे हैं. We are all in such scattered pieces that peace is a little difficult right now. So there's a big anomaly there.
Yeah. So before
Yeah.
Deepak takes over, what exactly is Prism?
All right. So typically, if the word prism is used, people will start thinking about a prism wherein light reflects, and you finally come down to one particular light that is white color. You're absolutely right. It's a rainbow thing. And why prism? Yes, because we are multiple colors, but the brain processes only with four colors, which is golden, red, yellow, blue, as well as green. So the brain is divided into four parts. That is the left, the right, the front, and the rear. We all perform differently in these four parts. So PRISM is the only neurobehavioral inventory in the world right now that maps people's personalities on two spaces. One is who you are, one what you become. We have an extensive array of report going up to 60 odd pages. We had to crunch it down and bring it down to 40 pages. This was developed in 2003. You can imagine the number of years that have gone by that it has been used. Unfortunately, people are not very familiar with it. What is very interesting about PRISM is this, that on a Cronblanc scale of accuracy, PRISM stands to 0.9% of accuracy, which is close to 97%. People can't fool the two. So people use it for recruitment, selection, performance appraisal, marriages, divorces, counseling, team synergizing, leadership, you name it, and it is there. The reason why PRISM, because we bring out only two maps, who you are, what you tend to become. Now, a lot of people think कि क्या हम इसको बेवकूफ बना सकते हैं. हाँ, बिल्कुल बना सकते हो. बनाने को तो खुद को बेवकूफ बना सकते हो. Pooling the tool is not going to fetch you anything. There is no result out of it. तो क्यों बेवकूफ बना रहे हो? So I have used this in several of my interview processes where I've done CXO, CTO, strategic level interviews. And what is fun is this, that people think that the minute I am revealing the report, I will become judgmental about them. The truth is that the minute you have a report in front of you, it's like standing in front of the mirror. Mirror ke samne Deepti knows she's wearing a dark blue, navy blue kurta. I can't defy that. If you start defying who you are, you're only playing around with your own personality and your own identity. So very crucially, Prism deals with who you are, what you become. And the analysis is where the debriefing is. And if there is any anomaly that you'd like to rectify, we always suggest anything post that. It could be coaching. It could be related to anything else with respect to your enhancement. So a lot of people say, can you give me medicine? Medicine किस लिए? आप गलत थोड़ी हैं, आप बीमार थोड़ी हैं. So there is no medicine. There is an attached, apart from the inventory, there is an attached aspect of educating yourself. And how do you groom yourself? So that is done differently. Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Yes. I
So,
hope I answered it.
yes. One or two questions, statements too, regarding what was being discussed. And, you explained about what PRISM is, and people can do this test to find compatibility and marriage and divorce, up to a few years ago, since this divorce has now become a little bit more common parlance, in today's language. आजकल ऐसा लगता है कि कम से कम एक बार डाइवोर्स तो होना ही चाहिए, नहीं तो आगे गाड़ी लाइफ में गाड़ी आगे नहीं बढ़ेगी. You should be
Oh my
divorced
God.
at least once.
It
I'm
looks like a
saying,
fashion statement to me.
शुभ बोलो यार, शुभ बोलो.
I'm not, your age and our age, it doesn't matter,
शुभ बोलो, डर लगता है यार. हम पीछे रह गए क्या?
No, I am saying even before the arrival of this tool in 2003, everything was working quite well. We are 1.4 billion in India. There are 8 billion of us in the world. So life ठीक ही चल रही है, whether there was a disc or whether there was a prism or not. Having said that, all of us clearly cannot have one me. Ramnath is the same, Iyer is the same, Mohan is the same. As you said, he or she is probably wearing different hats, or addressing different audiences, or playing to a different role. That is why we feel he or she is different. There is this saying which says that when you are happy, you enjoy the music, but when you are sad, you understand the lyrics.
Correct. Very true. Very true. That
No,
is absolutely correct.
it's the same person. It's just the state of mind you are in. When you are happy, you are enjoying ding dang music going on. But when you are sad, you are listening to the song and saying, "अरे ये तो मेरी जिंदगी है. जिंदगी के सफर में
Absolutely
गुजर
right.
जाते हैं कोई मकाम."
बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही.
Yeah.
Deepak sir, can I just add one small thing here? Have you
Please,
ever sat
please.
outside the swimming pool, or have you been
Yes.
inside the swimming pool?
Yes.
Are you melancholic when you're inside the swimming pool?
Inside the swimming pool, there is only one thought going on in your mind. I have to keep active so that I don't drown. That is the thought, correct?
But are you melancholic? That time is the question.
I'm not too sure whether I have an answer to the question, but you are basically trying to, think, chalo, move, otherwise you will
Correct.
sink.
For somebody
Yeah.
like me who knows not to swim but knows how to drown, my first thing is stay calm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in the swimming pool. But when I'm sitting at the edge of the swimming pool and seeing others swim, I'm thinking. But the
Yeah.
same particular person, when Deepti goes and sits on the banks of a particular river, or
Yeah.
I'm quietly watching the ocean and the waves, I am
Yes.
not in the mood for frivolity. Probably I'm watching the
Yes.
sunset. Probably I'm
Yes.
watching the sun go up. Or probably
Yeah.
I'm watching the waves do their own job. And that time, my
Mm.
melancholic nature makes
Yeah.
me ponder about life, about things go by, and so on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
banda, insan to same hai na, sir. What has changed with the perspective of how you see the water? Imagine, say, pani hai. Difference is the
Yeah.
span. One is a
Yeah.
contained pani, and the other
Yeah.
is a vast sea. And when I
Yes.
look at a mountain, or I look at the sea, or when I look at trees, and I feel the wind and the breeze to my face, I am more thoughtful. उस टाइम पे
Hmm.
दिल है पानी पानी नहीं आता है. उस टाइम
Hmm.
जिंदगी का ठहराव समझ में आता है.
Hmm.
Tina is laughing over it, but yeah, isn't it? Why would
Correct.
it is so
I
different.
agree.
Yeah. So, sir, हम हैं तो same. So you are
Yeah.
actually switching the mind, as you rightly said. It's a mind that plays with you. But that switch on off जो होता है ना, sir, that's exactly where the whole idea to know yourself is. And
Yeah,
Iyer sir, I'm
yeah, yeah.
agree with this, that we don't need to
And
know
again,
ourselves.
at the same time, if you are by the beach and there is a group of people, and if you are wearing a t-shirt and shorts, then it is blue hai pani, 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 blue hai pani.
Correct, correct.
So let's do a little bit of deep dive. We've understood that even though we may be that one person at different points in life, at different times in life, at different times throughout the day, we are performing a duty, or there is something which we are trying to become, and there is no way out of it. At home, you are a husband to your wife, you are a parent to your kids. If you are teaching, if you are facilitating, then you are trying and helping and guiding people with your expertise or your knowledge. That is why when Mr. Iyer said, no, Mohan is different and Iyer sir is different and Ramnath is different. That is the way life is. I can't change that, correct?
Correct.
So then, why the need to even think about behavior in life and at work? Why is there a need? Why can't all of us assume and understand that this person whom I am dealing with at work is a different person than he or she may be at home, is a different person when they are with their children or their spouses? Why do I need to adapt and adopt?
Okay, I'm going to put the ball back into your court. How many people around you know you?
Very few know me, the real me.
There you are.
Yeah.
Then very few know the real you, Deepak sir. Isn't it important that you need to flex yourself, not because you want to fit in the jigsaw puzzle, but because it is imperative that people are able to relate and associate to the person who is there. कुर्सी पे
Yes.
बैठा हुआ इंसान जो है, whoever is at the workspace, is Deepak Khimani back home? नहीं हो सकता.
नहीं हो
There are
सकता.
two reasons for that. There are two reasons, very big, just two. One reason Deepak sir वैसे नहीं हो सकते because you cannot be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You cannot expose your vulnerability to the world because people will take
Yes.
advantage. Two,
Yes.
you can't be aggressive people, then people will ban you.
Yeah.
So there are four words which we operate on, and I would like all of you to give it a thought. Like, love, respected, and valued. I repeat again, like, love, respected, and valued. Which one is the most frivolous one?
Liked.
And now for a lot of generations, it is love also, because you're benching, you're crumbing, you're bread crumbing, you're orbiting, and God knows what all, you're satelliting. So that has also got into the same league. But yes, liking is very frivolous because you can just keep in and out of like. Today I like biryani, tomorrow I'd like dal makhani. So my liking quotient can change. What is the highest in quotient?
Value.
Why? Why not respect?
I think
Respect
respect.
can also be because out of fear. Value is because you really value, as the word defines it.
Brilliant. Bullseye. अगर आप सर क्लासरूम सेशन में होते तो हम आपको चॉकलेट देते. Iyer sir also wanted to say something.
Valentine's Day कल था.
Oh, नहीं, that is wrong. That is wrong. Misnomer है. Valentine Day रोज होता है. You can keep falling in and out of your love quotient.
And
हाँ जी,
sorry to
Iyer
interrupt,
sir.
wanted to
In
ask
and
Yes,
out
Amit.
क्यों बोला यार?
हाँ, Amit.
of
In
all
and
these
out क्यों बोला?
events
In
I
and
hate
in and
to-
in.
In and out. अच्छा, okay. चलो ठीक है. In and in. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Ramnath sir.
Yeah, देखो, from what I gathered, what we are, to be frank, we know only in the bathroom. The moment we come out, we wear the mask
Correct.
according to the place where we have to go,
Correct.
the role which we have to perform,
Correct.
and the mask remains the entire day
Correct.
till we come out,
Correct.
come home, enter the
Correct.
bathroom. There we become real.
That
There
is
is one more place. There
Deepti's
is one
work
more
is
place.
to tell us what we are in the bathroom.
yeah.
Sir, there is
The
one
real
more
me.
place where you are. There is one more place where you are. And you just
Ah, yeah.
forgot that. That is the only place where you can be yourself without any qualm. You don't even have to dress up. And that's the bed when you go off to sleep. Before time you close your eyes, that is the time when you ask yourself, Ramnath, आज का दिन कैसा था? You're literally mulling. आज क्या हुआ? कितना pretension डालना पड़ा? क्यों किया? इसके साथ क्या बात किया? उसके साथ क्या बात किया? You're literally having a complete ride into the entire day. And what is very interesting is that bathroom से बाहर निकलने के बाद आप वही कपड़े पहनते हैं जहाँ पे आपको रोल प्ले करना है. लेकिन जब बेड पे होते हैं तो कपड़े पहनने की भी जरूरत नहीं है because you are actually with your only wearing your thoughts. And
Yeah.
that's where you are totally with your own self, resigned in there. So
Yeah.
that is another place जहाँ पे कोई जरूरत नहीं किसी के जानने की कि आपके मन में क्या चल रहा है. I think
Yeah.
Amit sir is wanting to speak, and he's been getting disconnected. Amit ji, please, you had to say something. Where is the hate stand after? Why would you try to use such a toxic word? People who don't value and respect you ultimately hate you. And if
Yeah,
that is the way that you want to put it
that is
across.
also reality, basically.
It is.
Hope
It
I
is.
am able to. Are you I am audible?
Yes, you
Yes.
are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah. So because that is also one of the things which then that is where the enemies we get from. The
So,
4 words
Amit
that
ji,
we
let me
defined was
explain.
all.
Huh. No, the four words, don't assume that they're positive words. Please understand this. You respect somebody out of fear. You don't respect the person, you respect the chair. You respect the
Yeah.
designation. आप
Yes.
सीएफ और सीटीओ को इसलिए रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते बिकॉज वो आपके बॉस हैं, आपके सीएफ और सीटीओ हैं. आप सिर्फ इसलिए रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं क्योंकि उनका डेजिग्नेशन है. कल आप उस डेजिग्नेशन पे जाकर देखिए, पीपल विल हेट यू आल्सो.
Yeah.
The minute you give something to someone without any expectation and still people come to you, समझ जाइएगा, you have value. And value
Okay.
is the satisfaction or contentment that people get with you. सोच के देखिएगा. आप चाय पीजिए. All of you all, if you can just give me a show of hands, how many of you all have chai? Or coffee lovers or chai lovers? Just give me a show of hands if you're chai and coffee lovers. Okay, question. Chai in a 5-star hotel vis-a-vis chai at a tapri. What gives you satisfaction? Amit ji, this is for you also. What gives you satisfaction? I'm not asking what gives you class.
It's the
Obviously,
same.
Tapri.
The story
Tapri
which
has a
we see.
different emotion altogether
There you
associated.
are. No, but if you understand, Hina, मैंने emotion नहीं पूछा. मैंने आपसे क्या पूछा? I did
It's a
not ask
story that
class.
goes along with this. When you are in a position, you are being given all the respect. If the glass does not matter, the coffee is going to taste the same whether you drink it
Brilliant.
in a glass of
Brilliant.
silver or
Correct.
in a paper cup.
Yes. So this is the whole same emotion, Hina. हीना, इन केस अगर आप किसी ऑफिस में हो तो आप वहां पे टपरी पे नहीं लेके जा सकते ना अपनी टीम को, अपने सीटीए और सीएफओ को. यू विल हैव टू हैव इट देयर. व्हाट आर यू शोइंग? यू शोइंग योर क्लास, यू शोइंग योर पोजीशन. तो कप और उसका सबका चीज सब सब अलग हो जाएगा. लेकिन वही अगर आप अपने दोस्तों के साथ है, यू आर ओके ओपनिंग हैविंग अ सिगरेट आल्सो अलोंग विद योर छोटा वाला चाय का कप. और आप बोलते क्या है?
Cutting.
यार एक चाय का सुट और चाय और सुट्टा मार के आते. यू ओके. Will you be able to speak like this when you're dealing with seniors and people who you want to create an impression on? नहीं. But the same ही ना, एक और सवाल. आप ढाबे पे जाती है, आपको कुर्सी पे बैठ के खाना खाना अच्छा लगेगा या चारपाई पे?
Charpai. That's not even a
But when you
question.
no, it is
It
unquestionable.
is.
But at in Taj, there was this lady who was the sub editor of 8 Times of India. ये बहुत बड़ा केस बना था. She came and she sat with her legs folded up on the chair. She was squatting. She didn't have a problem. Her people didn't have a problem. The manager did not have a problem. But somebody else who saw her doing that had a problem. He raised a very big complaint against her. The manager was compelled to ask her to put her foot down.
Okay.
And she was compelled because Hina वहां पर class देखना था. And she said, I didn't get a value for money because I didn't get to do what I wanted to. भाई अगर आपको चारपाई जैसे बैठना है तो आप अपने घर पे जाके खाना खाओ, चटाई लगाकर खाना खाओ. Value is what you drive when you get super duper satisfaction without any attachment. इसलिए आप बच्चों को देखिए, they find value with everything. Stupid से stupid चीज. There's a balloon inflated, they find value. They laugh. वही balloon deflate हो जाता है, फट जाता है, they will find stupidity in that, they will again start laughing. But you and I as adults, we try and reason out. 200 रुपए दिए थे यार balloon के, फट गया.
True.
आपने वो 200 रुपए का balloon 5-10 मिनट enjoy किया? Did you have a good time? I can't show you my house because it'll look pretty awkward and unprofessional. I have a Doraemon hanging on my one of my clips, and I picked up that Doraemon for all of 60 rupees from the road. And believe me, वो एक Doraemon में लेके आई, वो दूसरे दिन फट गया. I wept like a freak, literally. And I told my friend, I said, I don't know why am I crying. Not 60 rupees का loss, but मुझे उसके अंदर एक emotion दिख रहा था. That friend of mine bought another one, spent
Attachments.
150 rupees. And you know what happened? उसको आज भी मैंने लटका के रखा है. धीरे धीरे उसकी हवा जा रही है. But I look at it every day in the morning and I feel so good. Wow, that emotion. इट इज दैट इमोशन, इट इज द वैल्यू दैट यू गेट. उसके लिए कोई वो बड़ी चीज है वो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. रिस्पेक्ट कम्स विथ डेजिग्नेशन, कुर्सी, डर, ओ माय गॉड ये नहीं किया तो. और लाइकिंग और लवेबिलिटी तो वो होता ना, वो फ्रिवलिस इसलिए है क्योंकि इट कुड बी नाउ, इट कुड बी नेवर, इट कुड बी नाउ, इट कुड बी नेवर, इट कैन एग्जिस्ट और को एग्जिस्ट. बट वैल्यू, आई वुड लाइक टू बी वैल्यूड वंस आई डाई. People should be able to speak good about me when I die. Now that's where the real value is. People satisfied with you in a relationship. That's where the core lies. So are we creating value?
Yes.
Amit,
But yeah, and
Amit,
every year
रुक
we
जा.
say, means every 5 years, the nature of the person also keeps on changing. So isn't it that that is again a part of your split personality?
No, it's not split personality. It is the nature of the person is changing because he, she wants to fit into the jigsaw puzzle. रामनाथ सर का नेचर रामनाथ बन के अलग है, मोहन बन के अलग है, अय्यर सर बन के अलग है. वो नेचर बदलता है, वो आदमी थोड़े स्प्लिट है.
Also,
He knows.
what we would want to add to is कि environment,
हाँ,
external environment भी बहुत बड़ा role play करता है.
बिल्कुल.
अगर when Dipti is answering my question, it is because I'm questioning her, I'm asking, I'm seeking knowledge. If I would have chosen to sit silent, she would have not talked to me.
Correct.
So the
Absolutely.
same thing. So it's not split personality. It's just adapting. What you have said,
Yes,
flexibility.
absolutely. You have to flex. And in fact, I just read the chat. वहां पर एक question था, personalities change every 5 years. No, personalities can change, and your behavior and your adaptation to life can change because of three reasons. One, death. Two, change of location, place. Three, change of relationship status. Only three very difficult parts of your life. आप जॉब चेंज करिए, आपका अपने आप आपका माइंडसेट चेंज हो जाएगा. आई एम अ वेरी पीपल सेंट्रिक पर्सन. द मिनट आई बिकम अ सेल्स पर्सन, मेरा अग्रेशन लेवल एक अलग ही लेवल पे जाना चाहिए. ये किसने कहा?
So when you say death means somebody associated with you within your
Yes.
okay.
No, no, not necessary. It could be just simply seeing death.
Oh, okay.
I have a friend who is based out of Delhi. उसने बस ऐसे मस्ती में बोला अपने दूसरे दोस्त को, भाड़ में जा यार, तू साला मरता क्यों नहीं है, तू इतना इरिटेट कर रहा है. Guess
Uh-huh.
what happened, Amit ji? उसी शाम को they were in the car and this other friend was on the bike. They were following him. The bike met with a very bad accident. The same friend died.
अरे बाप रे.
जिस फ्रेंड ने बोला तू मरता क्यों नहीं, तू भाड़ में जा, वो दिन और आज का दिन, that man, it's been close to 15 years now. He's not entered Bombay. He can't.
Oh.
He feels that उसने बोला इसलिए वो मर गया.
Oh.
आप इमोशंस को समझने की कोशिश करिए. द वे दैट वी आर ट्रांसपायरिंग, इट कुड बी डेथ ऑफ अ नियर एंड डियर वन, इट कुड बी डेथ ऑफ एनीबॉडी यू सी. अब हम सब गौतम बुद्धा तो है नहीं कि सिद्धार्थ ने बचपन में किसी को मरते हुए देखा तो एनलाइटन हो गए और गौतम बुद्धा बन गए. लेकिन हमारी जिंदगी में somebody dies. Like I changed as a person dramatically after I lost both my parents in my very, very formative years. I lost my mother to cancer, and I was just reeling and getting through out of it that I lost my father also back to back. And I was the one who did my father's final rites. So the Deepti then vis-a-vis the Deepti now has gone through a transition that if people see and know, they'll say, तुम क्या थी और तुम क्या हो गई हो. They don't call me a split personality. They say, Deepti, you transpired.
Okay. Okay.
अमित जी, the next time somebody says, अमित तुम बहुत बदल गए हो, तो उनसे जवाब में ये बोलिएगा, कारण तुम्हारे सामने है.
Okay. तो उसका देखने का नजरिया बदल गया है. He is seeing me through his
हो
eyes
सकता है.
or his
Yeah,
feelings.
करेक्ट. या हो सकता है उनके चश्मा उनका गंदा हुआ हो. उनको बोलो कभी कभी चश्मा भी साफ कर लिया कर भाई. थोड़ा कभी कभी स्प्रे मार के चश्मा भी साफ करना चाहिए. कभी कभी लेंस खराब हो जाता है.
Correct. Because everybody wants that they should get the answer what they are expecting and not the person whom they are dealing with. Because even he is
हाँ,
going through certain emotions and certain phase of his life. So he is
करेक्ट.
behaving in that fashion and in that manner at that point of
करेक्ट.
time.
अमित अमित, रोज हम आईना साफ करते रहे और धूल चश्मे पे थी.
Correct. Very true, sir.
You know, the one problem with this discussion is that, you know, we all grew up. If that child inside us was never allowed to grow up, if that child inside you is alive, then you know that life is different.
Yes.
For some reason, I have never allowed my child inside to die. So today also I will sing a song because before Amit says, Amit, हम भी अगर बच्चे होते, हम भी
हम भी
अगर
अगर
बच्चे
बच्चे
होते,
होते
नाम
नाम
हमारा होता
हमारा
डब्लू बब्लू, खाने को मिलते लड्डू.
लड्डू और दुनिया
हाँ,
कहती हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू.
दीपक
the
दीपक
other thing, yes, yes, Ramnath,
दीपक, हम लोग
yes,
महाबलीपुरम गए थे ना अभी लास्ट डे,
yes, yes.
तो आप बीच में उड़ी मारा, घोड़े में बैठा, चाइल्ड लाइक.
यही करना चाहिए, यही
इन
करना
द
चाहिए.
मोमेंट, इमीडिएट इन द
इसीलिए तो
मोमेंट.
इसीलिए तो जन्म मिला है, नहीं तो क्या होगा, जैसे वो दीप्ति ने बताया. There is this one place where you go and think and you
एंड
become
दीप्ति नोज मी वेरी वेल.
melancholic. Yeah, yeah. It does not happen when you are sitting on the side of a swimming pool. It happens a little bit when you are looking at mountains or when you are at the beach side. But the real reflections happen when you are at the cemetery or at the crematorium. That is when you realize there is a final destination, which is all of us. What am I doing? What am I going through? But the problem is, as soon as you come out of that space and you come back into the world, you forget everything that you were contemplating inside there, and then reality bites and life strikes. So tell us, Dipti, even why we do not understand that we've been to that place where we know जाना तो in the end सबको ऊपर ही है. Why do we still continue behaving the way we are?
हाँ, तो जो आपने जो बात बोली वो उसको एक्चुअली सिंप्लीफाई कर देते हैं कि मंजिल तो
Yeah.
मेरी यही थी, बस जिंदगी निकल गई यहाँ तक आते आते. ठीक है.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
out of the crematorium, into the crematorium, you feel the pain, you feel the hurt,
Yeah.
but we all live in the future. We are not in the present.
Yeah.
The past is very regretful for most of us. The future is very, very full of anxiety for all of us. It's stressful. Where is the now? जब आप
Hmm.
आज में जीना शुरू करेंगे ना सर, तो जब आप लौट के आएंगे ना क्रेमेटोरियम से, तो आप थोड़ा सा
Hmm.
टाइम देंगे खुद को. यू विल से आई नीड अ
Yeah.
डेज ब्रेक यार. आई कांट नाउ, आई कांट डू एनीथिंग, आई कांट
Yes.
प्रोसेस दिस डेथ. कुछ
Yeah.
लोग 2-3 दिन ले लेते हैं. And the minute there's another death, you come back again into the same cycle. And it's very
Yes.
unfortunate. You come into the same cycle because आपको लगता है कि आपको मरने में अभी टाइम है.
Yeah.
क्योंकि टाइम है तो मैं थोड़ा सा और काम कर लूं. मेरे 4 कॉल्स बाकी हैं, 8 clients are waiting, 10 करोड़ का मेरा डील होना बाकी है. बट ये 10 करोड़ का डील होगा कि नहीं होगा, वो तो फ्यूचरिस्टिक है. आज में कहाँ.
Yeah. Yeah.
एंड दीपक सर, I'll just add one thing to the child thing that you said. सर बुरा
Yeah.
मत मानिएगा, अगर आपको आज मैं दाल चावल दूं एक प्लेट में डाल के, will you be
Yeah.
compelled to eat it with a spoon, or will you
नहीं, मैं
eat it
हाथ
with
से
your hands?
खाऊंगा. मैं तो हाथ से
कहाँ.
खाऊंगा.
नहीं नहीं,
Yeah.
कहाँ खाएंगे.
घर पे, घर पे, घर पे.
क्यों सर, अभी तो आपने बोला मेरा चाइल्ड बिहेवियर मेरे मरने
बिल्कुल,
नहीं
बाहर
दिए.
भी खाता हूँ, बाहर भी
नीचे
खाता हूँ.
जमीन पर बैठकर.
नहीं
I'll
नहीं
share with you, Amit. Since
नहीं
Amit, since ये
नहीं.
जमीन वाली बात निकली, I'll share with you, Deepti. We were at Mumbai airport और हमारी फ्लाइट लेट हो गई थी और बहुत सारे लोग लाइन में खड़े थे. बहुत सारे लोग लाइन में खड़े थे एंड द फ्लाइट वाज फुल एंड देयर वर टू मेनी फ्लाइट्स व्हिच वर डिलेड. मैंने बोला, मेरी वाइफ और बच्चे साथ में खड़े हैं. आई वेंट एंड सैट डाउन ऑन द फ्लोर, पलटी मार के, क्योंकि वैसे तो भी फ्लाइट डिलेड है, आराम से बैठते हैं. सडनली मेरे भाई, ये क्या कर रहा है, एयरपोर्ट है. बट सीइंग मी, 3 or 4 अदर पीपल हु डिड नॉट इवन नो मी मेरे साथ में आके पलटी मार के बैठ गए. So that is the kind of person I am. Yeah, yeah.
So that's a trigger effect because people need validation for what you're doing. Think about it.
Yes.
We all need
Yeah.
validation.
Yeah.
अगर मैं भी बहुत बार ऐसी चीजें करती हूँ, बट आई नीड एंड सीक वैलिडेशन. सर जिस दिन वैलिडेशन के मोड से निकल जाएंगे ना, आप दोबारा बच्चे ही बन गए हैं. तो अभी अगर आपने
बिल्कुल.
बोला हम बच्चे क्यों नहीं बनते हैं, सो डिफरेंस इज चाइल्डिश एंड चाइल्ड लाइक. यू कैन बिकम चाइल्ड लाइक, बट एट योर
Yes.
एज यू कैन बिकम चाइल्डिश.
Yes.
सर आप चम्मच से
Correct.
खाने के लिए मजबूर इसलिए होंगे बिकॉज दैट इज
Yeah.
एटिकेट, बिकॉज पीपल डोंट लाइक यू ईटिंग विद देयर हैंड. You
Yeah.
slurping on
Yeah.
your fingers and making that sound and noise could be annoying to
Yes.
somebody else, but back home दीपक जी, आप तो सर आपको तो बच्चे ही है.
खाने
आइसक्रीम
का
खाने के लिए आप चम्मच से खाइए या उंगली डुबो के उसके अंदर खाइए, nobody will say anything. But the
I
minute
will.
you step out,
Yeah, yeah. Please complete. Please complete.
the minute you step out and having an ice cream in an ice cream parlor, you'll be very
Yeah.
mindful because you don't want people
Yeah.
to look at you. But अगर
Yes.
सारे लोग उस तरह से slurp कर करके खाने लग जाएं, पूरी की पूरी जमात ही एकदम बिल्कुल ऐसी हो जाए, then you will have no problem.
Let me share something with this week because you asked this question. Exactly 1 week ago, now, Ramnath sir explained about Mahabalipuram and we were in Chennai when we were coming back. रात को हम लोग एक होटल में खाना खाने के लिए गए and there was this was Chennai, and there was this family which was sitting there, which we were. आपको पता है साउथ इंडिया में खड़े रह के खाते हैं टेबल्स पे. There is no serve. It was self service. So this one of this child, typical local था. They called for Chinese rice. उसको Chinese rice आई, and हम जैसे होते तो जरूर कांटे चम्मच या किसी के साथ खाते. इसने उसी Chinese rice प्लेट में डाला, and then he started eating the way he normally eats rice. Sambar rice, rasam rice, curd rice खा सकते हैं, but this fellow was, I think he was 10 or 12 years old. He was eating Chinese fried rice the way he normally eats rice at home. I'm just connecting with what you said to what I saw just 1 week back. So no right, no wrong. बच्चे हो बच्चे रहो, really childlike and childish. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Anyone wants to make a statement, wants to ask Deepti something? We are very, very close to the end.
Yeah, hi Deepti, this is Parisha.
Hello.
Since this,
Go ahead, Paresh.
since this child, this thing we are discussing, I think the child within us, howsoever old we grow, I think there we always feel we are the same age only. मुझे लगता है नहीं कि like we have grown somewhere down the inside, deep inside. I still feel that I'm the same kid who used to go to school. So deep inside, no feeling that is never going to go.
That's
Okay,
a very
so
good thing.
howsoever old we become, I think that's something which I feel also sometimes that I'm still that small kid who used to go to school or who used to like to go to school or what. वो छोटा बच्चा अभी भी हमारे अंदर है ही. तो कितना भी कुछ भी हम we might show from outside, तो अंदर से वो छोटा बच्चा ना that is never going to go. You might be a person might be 90 years old, he will still feel like I was just I'm a kid a few years back, and that kid is still alive in me. ऐसे
That's
काफी
amazing. That's amazing.
that's
बहुत
the
अच्छा है.
reality. That's the reality
बहुत अच्छा
actually.
है.
If you think inside now, you'll think, "Arey, I was just a kid a few years back." You'll not
Correct.
realize only, and that is something which everyone should think about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I have
Wonderful,
a
wonderful.
question.
Yes, Hina. कोई एक छोटी
Deepti.
सी शायरी करके खत्म करना before we close.
Okay, sir. So Deepti, I have one question,
Go
and
ahead. Yeah.
firstly, I really want to thank you for being here. I loved it. You are
Thank you.
fantastic,
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you so
I
much.
feel that
Thank
word would
you.
be too less, but I'm not as amazing with my vocabulary as you and Deepak sir are. So for the limited words that I know, I'm really fantastic is the topmost I can right now think of.
Thank you so much. Really means a lot to hear this from you, Reena. Yes.
And
Please tell
my
me your question. Yeah.
question is, with your extensive experience of 20 years, what has been the toughest realization about human nature and what has been the most beautiful realization about human nature? Given a chance, what would you like the people to change about themselves?
First, I will take the second part first, because that's very strong. What I like people to change in themselves is it'll pretty much a problem solver. Stop assuming. Start learning to ask. When you assume about somebody's life, you assume about somebody's career, you assume about somebody's family, you assume about somebody's face, you assume about somebody's entire periphery. You're actually giving thoughts to your own self. आप उसको mind machine में mince करना शुरू करते हैं. The minute you start asking, what happens is there is more deeper revelation. पुराने जमाने में there's a word called being kind. Being kind means being nice to people. Today, that word kindness has been removed, Hina, and it has been actually replaced with being compassionate. Big, huge difference. Sympathy, empathy, and compassion. You'll be shocked, Hina. Empathy has lost its sheen completely. Empathy was just simply understanding the problem. Compassion is going and solving the problem. ये बहुत जरूरी है. हम में से कितने लोग अपना टाइम हटाकर दूसरे की हेल्प करने जाएंगे? The biggest revelation about human behavior is the unfortunate part about human behavior is that we are very self-centric. We are very contorted. We are very inside our own selves. We want people to know us, but we hide a lot. We don't come out very openly. Why do we not come out openly? Because our trust levels are very shaken up. And I can bet my life on this. At 49 today, and with close 28 years of an experience with so many people that I've met so far, I've learned only one thing, that people say, Dipti, I can't trust. Trust ka toot jana is because of the past experiences and prejudices and biases and so many judgments that you make about people. One bad experience and you will be over with. Two, the biggest revelation about the good part is that we know about it. You know it. आप जानते जरूर हैं. But the second aspect is that you don't know anything about it. So despite the fact that you know, how are you changing it? So yesterday, while coming down from Powai, where I had a lecture, I was telling a friend of mine, there was a accident on the road, and there was this biker who was very badly hurt. Thankfully, not injured, but hurt. He was limping. You know, Hina, what I saw? There were 4 people who quickly went up, picked up his bike. He said, "You forget the bike, we'll pick it up for you." And they literally managed him to be pulled down on the pavement. But the same particular moment, there was this Delhi particular couple who is unfortunately caught in a hit and run. They bled to their death, literally, for 8 hours, lying on the particular freeway in Delhi. And this particular news became news because their entire death was captured on reels. One particular small difference in the we, who we are we aware? So the biggest beautiful thing about human behavior, you know it. The sad part is that you don't do anything about it. And imagine when people see these things, Hina, this is on a very serious note. The sad part is that despite knowing everything, we don't change. Because मेरे पास बहुत सारा टाइम है, अभी तो जिंदगी बाकी है, मेरे साथ कुछ बुरा नहीं होने वाला है. And Deepak sir is absolutely right. Why is it that you see more prayers, more hugs, more tears only at the airport and at the funeral? Why can't you do this every day? The other day in one of the workshops that I was doing on mindfulness, somebody asked me, Deepti, how are you mindful every day? I said, I have just 2 prayers, one in the night before I go to bed and the minute I wake up. I said, just the same, huh? Just 2 means just the same prayer, but at both times. Number 1, thank you for getting me up from the bed without a support system. Thank you for not wiring me up anywhere. That's the thing that I tell myself every day when I wake up, because I live alone and I actually know what it means to actually lose life and to lose people. 2, when I wake up, if I say that, so when I am on my bed, I remember what my mother used to tell me. We used to see our mom in the worst of the days, she's cleaning up the whole kitchen, she's putting up everything in one place, and she used to go to bed. I used to say, Mama, बीमार हो छोड़ दो, हो जाएगा, कल सुबह उठ के कर लेंगे, बर्तन हो जाएंगे, don't just do it. And that one statement changed my life forever, Hina. You know what she said? He said, अगर सोचो, अगर कल रात, आज मैं रात को चली गई, कल सुबह रिलेटिव्स आएंगे अगर मेरे फ्यूनरल पे, तो क्या बोलेंगे? कैसी औरत थी, कितना घर गंदा रखा था? So live each day thinking that it's going to be your last day. But the minute you wake up, thank God that it's there. You are there. You are there without any wires on, without any support system, without somebody propping up your bed and saying, "Chalo utho yaar, ab isko susu potty karana padega." Just be grateful for that. So this is one aspect that if people add a little more of it, being grateful, gratitude, abundance, a little more of love, non-assumptuous, unconditional, to give, I think we'll be a little more sorted a generation, or probably people for that matter.
Thank you.
Payal, go ahead. And before Payal says something, you know what? Every morning when we wake up, as it said, today morning I woke up and I received 2 gifts. I opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Payal, you wanted to say something?
Yes,
दीपक
thank
तेरा
you,
जोक
Deepak.
बहुत लोगों को समझता नहीं है.
क्या करूं अभी, मैं ऐसा ही हूं, मैं ऐसा ही हूं.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you for being here, and deep gratitude, Deepti, for removing your valuable time and gracing the Bloom Talk Show. We are definitely 100% going to have a physical workshop about what you are doing, because this will change a lot from the people's perspective. It is important for us to spread this awareness. So I'll speak to Deepak sir and Abhijit sir. We'll get your workshop soon done in Mumbai, very soon. So, whereas you were
Absolutely
flawless.
delighted.
जितना भी time I listened to you, it it was like नहीं अभी तो बहुत काम बाकी है. It is work in progress every day, every moment.
Yeah.
And
Thank you so much, Payal. It was real delight. Thank you so
and
much.
after listening to you all, and especially Dipti, I remembered the movie, English movie, Life is Beautiful, where the father and son are in the German this thing, they are captured, and then the father is trying to teach that son how you have to live your life, and he does not make him aware that you are
Mm,
been captured and tomorrow we are going to be killed, or like
correct.
the whole thing. Maybe if
Yeah, that is
somebody
Life is
may
Beautiful
recollect.
movie.
Yeah,
Life is beautiful.
Amit, वो
Yes.
एक joke है, for want of a better word, joke बोलूं, but there was this कैदी who was going to get hanged tomorrow morning.
Uh-huh.
तो जेलर उसके पास आया और उसको बोला, कल तुम्हें फांसी पे लटकाने वाले हैं, 6 बजे मैं आ जाऊंगा तुम्हारे पास. बोला कोई फायदा नहीं, मैं उठता ही 8 बजे हूँ.
नहीं, बट दीपक सर अगर ये मूवी नहीं देखा है तो देखिएगा. लाइफ
Yes.
इज ब्यूटीफुल, वेरी वेरी नाइस मूवी.
I would like to add here.
Yes,
Deepak ji,
yes, sir,
बोलूं?
go ahead. हाँ, इसके बाद हीना, you have to give us something, one of your shayaris. Yeah.
मैं बोलूं, Deepti is already feeding many dogs in one place, and she's spending more than 10 to 15,000 per month only for feeding the dogs. And that is called empathy, sympathy, understanding, kindness,
Humanity.
and whatever she does, she's definitely going to get back in abundance because of the karma. She's doing
Thank
all
you.
alone, huh? I
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you for
thank you so
sharing
much.
that. Thank you for sharing that. हीना,
Yes,
unmute
sir.
yourself. कुछ भी याद आ रहा हो तो बोल दो, 2
दूसरा
लाइनें.
पायल में बहुत नाम सुना. चेन्नई में जाने का पहले, क्योंकि चेहरा देखा नहीं है यार.
पायल छम करती है खाली, बस और कुछ नहीं करती है.
So I would want to compliment Deepti for her beautiful smile and her beauty. When I had
Thank
hosted
you.
event, this is something that I could instantly recall. Uh, आज महफिल में जगमगा उठे हैं कई नदीम चेहरे. आज महफिल में जगमगा उठे हैं कई नदीम चेहरे. मेजबानों से गुजारिश है, लौ चिराहों की जरा और घटा दी जाए.
वाह
ओह, क्या बात है,
वाह
Wow,
क्या
वाह
this
वाह
बात
is
है,
so
क्या
वाह
बात
beautiful.
वाह
Thank
वाह
you
है.
वाह.
so much. This is amazing. That really goes out for you, Tina. Thank you so much. Really means a lot. Thank
See,
you.
the problem for people like us, when I am hosting a program, I have to remember कि हीना की ये एक्सपर्टीज है. जब तक हम उसको बोल के करेंगे नहीं, तब तक वो खुद खुल के नहीं करेगी. मैं तो फ्लो में ही बोल देता हूँ, गाना भी गा देता हूँ, इसके लिए याद करना पड़ता है.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. What a way to end the session. I mean,
Wonderful,
we are
Deepti,
very fast.
excellent.
We are
Yes,
missing
yes.
Thank you.
Payal's what do you say, the fire questions, the
हाँ, वो पायल ट्रैवलिंग है, उसके फैमिली में कोई किसी की तो भी शादी हुई है. कोई बेचारा, कोई किसी बेचारे की किस्मत खराब है, लेकिन इसकी कजिन की शादी हुई है. सो इट गोज बोथ वेज. एक को मजा आ रहा है, एक को सजा होगी, पता नहीं क्या होगा. पता नहीं उन्होंने प्रिज्म क्या, उन्होंने टेस्ट किया प्रिज्म, या वो सब कंपैटिबिलिटी टेस्ट कराया कि नहीं. सो शी इज देयर इन
okay.
she is traveling, and then from tomorrow
So maybe we
cham
can
cham
have
करती
one
हुई.
more session, continuing
Yes.
part 2.
देख, हमें मालूम है अभी तक हमने 287 किए हैं. There were 2 sessions of ours that went on for 2.5 hours. This
Oh,
one सवा घंटा तो already हो गया है. We are way beyond ending at 1:30. So
correct.
there have been 2 sessions which went on for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
And very rarely has somebody asked for a session number 2. So congratulations to you, Dipti. What a
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
way.
Thank
What
you,
a
thank
great
you, sir.
topic. You have kept
Thank you.
everybody engaged. You have made us curious. Everybody is asking questions. I am singing songs. हीना शायरी बता रही है, और रामनाथ अय्यर आपके बारे में अलग अलग चीजें हमको बता रहे हैं. So thank you everybody for joining us on this Sunday.
Thank you
We've
so
had a
much.
great
Thank you
time
so
and
much.
looking forward for all of you joining us
Official
next Sunday.
closing ceremony.
So the
Closing, अरे
next,
बीच में
maybe
टीम
the
हो गया.
next time. So one thing I understood, next time when I meet Mr. Ramnath Iyer, I don't know whether I'm meeting Mr. Ramnath or Mr. Iyer or Mr.
अय्यर
Mohan.
और मिस्टर मोहन. So please join us for the 288th Sunday Bloom Talk Show next Sunday, where we will have another personality, another person talking to us about another facet of human life. See you then. Till then, God bless us
Thank you
all.
so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Deepti.
So
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
So, wish you all the best, Deepti.
Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Really means
Very
a
proud
lot.
of
Thank
you.
you, Deepti.